Good day everyone. Welcome to our mathematics tutorial. So today we are going to learn an introduction of quadrilaterals. So quadrilaterals means four sides, and quad means four, lateral means sides. Any four-sided shape is a quadrilateral. But the sides have to be straight and it has to be two-dimensional. So, ibig sabihin, if it is two-dimensional, we have the length and the width. So, there are also property of quadrilateral shape. So, it should have four sides or the edges, four vertices or the corners, and the interior angles add up to 360 degrees. So, try drawing a quadrilateral and measure the angles. They should add to 360 degrees. So, example, we have here a quadrilateral with four-sided figure with four sides and four corners. So, the first example is we have 80 degrees, 94 degrees, and 180 degrees. And we have 68 degrees. So the sum or the total of the angles of an interior angle is 68 plus 118 plus 94 plus 80 degrees is equal to 360 degrees. So this first example is an example of quadrilateral shape. Another one is a rectangle. So we have 90 degrees plus 90 plus 90 plus 90, or 4 times 90 is equal to 360 degrees. There are also types of quadrilaterals. So there are special types of quadrilaterals. Some types are also include the definition of other types. For example, a square, rhombus, rectangle, and are also parallelogram. So here is the parallelogram where opposite sides are parallel. So itong red na to at saka yung sa baba, they are parallel. This blue lines forming a parallelogram are also parallel. Parallel and congruent. Next, we have a rectangle, a rhombus, a square, trapezoid or trapezium, and a kite. So these are the types of quadrilateral. So there are also types of quadrilateral shape. Let us identify and describe each. So the first one is the rectangle. So a rectangle is a four-sided shape where every angle is a right angle, meaning the measure of each angle is equal to 90 degrees. So also, opposite sides are parallel and of equal length. So given this example, as you can see in the figure, this square means right angle. So, dito siya makikita, ito daw ay 90 degrees or right angle. And the bar line, the first line, the bar line and two bar lines shows equal sides of the given figure. So, as you can see, this line is equal or congruent to its opposite side. Then, this side is congruent to the opposite side. So, this is an example of a rectangle where four sides or two pairs of parallel side and congruent. The rhombus. A rhombus is a four-sided shape where all sides have equal length. Also, opposite sides are parallel and opposite angles are equal. So, as you can see in the figure, angle B is congruent to angle B, angle A is congruent to angle A because those angles are opposite angles. Therefore, they are congruent. Then another one or another interesting thing in that the diagonals, a dashed line in the second figure, they meet in the middle at a right angle. In other words, they bisect each other or cut in half each other and right angles or forming a right angles. So these are the diagonals of a rhombus. They bisect each other, and when they bisect each other, they form a perpendicular lines which result a right angle. The square. So a square has equal sides and every angle is a right angle or 90 degrees. Also, opposite sides are parallel and congruent. A square also fits the definition of a rectangle, where all sides are 90 degrees, and a rhombus, all sides are equal length. So here is the figure of a square. As you can see, all sides are congruent, the same with the rhombus. And all angles are 90 degrees, the same with the definition for the rectangle. So this figure means right angle. And this line means or shows that the sides are congruent. Another example or types of a quadrilateral is a parallelogram. A parallelogram has opposite sides, parallel and equal in length. So also opposite angles are equal. Okay, here is the figure. So angle B is congruent to angle B, angle A is congruent to angle A. This line segment is parallel and equal to this segment. The same with this segment is congruent and parallel to this segment. So note that the square, rectangle, rhombuses, and all are all parallelograms. So there are three special parallelograms. We have the square, rectangle, rhombus, and rhombus. So example, a parallelogram with all sides are equal and angles are all right angle is called a square. The trapezoid or the trapezium. The trapezoid is also called a trapezium. It has a pair of opposite sides parallel. So as you can see in the figure, this is an example of a trapezoid. A trapezoid where the upper base and the lower base are parallel. Then it is called an isosceles trapezoid if the sides aren't parallel, are equal in length, and both angles coming from the parallel side are equal as shown. So an isosceles trapezoid where the upper base and the lower base are parallel, these two legs are congruent and the base angles are also congruent. And a trapezium is also a trapezoid is a quadrilateral with no parallel sides. The kite. So it has two pairs of sides, and each pair is made up of adjacent sides that are equal in length. So these are the two pairs, and each pairs are adjacent, and therefore they are congruent. So this length is congruent to this length, and this length or side is congruent to this side. And the angles are equal where the pairs meet. So this angle is congruent to its opposite angle. And the diagonals form perpendicular lines where the result is a right angle, and one of the diagonal bisect the other. So meaning this diagonal, the longest diagonal, bisect the small diagonal into two congruent lengths. So that's all. Thank you for watching and listening. That is all about quadrilaterals, an introduction.